There are major changes to universal credit, and in this video I'm going to be breaking some of them down, particularly if you're on LCWRA, LCW, ESA, or you are thinking about claiming universal credit. You would want to know about these changes. And trust me when I tell you, this video is going to prepare you for the massive overhaul that is coming in April, which is only a few months away, 2026, because in April, some current claimants will be getting half of what they're currently getting. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so here we are, and I want to thank everybody as well for following me over on YouTube as well as over on TikTok, and most importantly for making your comments, because it helps me to know how I can help you the most. Now, if you didn't already know, I used to work for DWP. Here's a little internal email from when I used to work there. This has passed in public court, so I can share it. As you can see, I was involved an awful lot with self-employment development. I worked on a lot of different projects for self-employment, and most importantly, I was somebody that did the national check-in of self-employed claims to make sure that disabled people were getting the right amount of tapering on their claims for self-employment. But as we all know, unfortunately, I ended up suing the Department of Work and Pensions, where they were found guilty of failure to make reasonable adjustments and unlawful harassment against myself. Okay, so moving swiftly onwards. The big issue that everybody is going to have coming up is in April 2026, and it isn't that far away. So I wanted to show you exactly how this is going to play out so that you can think about it and think about your current situation. And because I think forewarned is always like the best way to be prepared for something. So this all started back with Rishi Sunak, actually, with the white paper, the green paper, and obviously the changes that DWP made to the work capability assessment form. Now, the Good Law Project actually successfully took the Department of Work and Pensions to the High Courts, and they won against DWP. And it was because of this form here. It was a form that DWP had changed, and the reason why they changed that was because they wanted to move people through the different groups from LCWRA to LCW. And the reason why they wanted to do that was so that those people who were on LCWRA would then lose that extra £420 a month. And also it forces the hand to make people work, because most people who are in the LCWRA group, limited capability for work, and no work related activity, don't have there's no legal requirement for them to look for work or to work. But when you are in the LCWR group here, as you can see here, you do. So the majority of people who are going to be the most affected with all of this is the disabled people, long-term people with long-term illnesses, and people with long-term unemployment. And the way the government, and in particular DWP, are going to be navigating this, the way they're going to be maneuvering this through universal credit, is by the work groups. I wanted as well to thank everybody for buying my health journal. It is an Amazon #1 bestseller. I'm so pleased. If you haven't yet got it and you are looking for a complete evidence system for your health and your disability, whilst also giving you a whole year's journaling, planning, and all the rest of it, this is the one for you. It's A4. It's beautiful, thick paper. I might add, really wonderful thick paper, perfect to write on each side. It's got so many things in it. Thank you so much. And don't forget to leave me your reviews when you do. Now, work groups in Universal Credit are managed legally by something called the labour regime. So that's the rules and all of the policies and the laws relating to that come from Parliament. So let's have a look at this first of all. Most of you who are on Universal Credit will know if you or what work group you are in. If you don't know, it would be a good thing for you to ask. So ask if you are in the LCWRA group, the limited capability for work, or the intensive work search group, which is IWS, or are you in the work focused group? Now, I'm going to break this down. Some of you will know this, but obviously some of my viewers don't know all of this. So just be patient, because we're going to get to some more complicated things a little bit later on in this, but we need to make sure that everybody is understanding, the various different terms. So LCW is limited capability for work. If you're in this work group, you can still be found eligible for work if you're on Universal Credit. So it doesn't mean that you don't have to work. But you don't get that extra £420 a month when you are in this work group. Limited capability for work is not PIP, it's not Universal Credit, it's a part of a payment that's added onto your Universal Credit. LCWRA is limited capability for work and no work related activity. And when you're in this work search group, when you're in this work group, you don't have to look for work, and that's outdated now. I think it's about 420, because I actually did these slides months and months and months and months ago over on TikTok for something. So it's interesting to see all of this time later. They have stuck true to what Rishi Sunak had suggested. If you are in the intensive work search group, this group includes individuals who are, in DWP's eyes, fully capable for work. They're required to actively seek employment if they are in receipt of Universal Credit, and they have the highest level of labour market conditionality in this work group. So if you're in this work group, DWP, a Universal Credit, can make you do an awful lot of things, and they can sanction a lot of things if you don't do it. So, as I said, looking for work, attending job interviews, going on work-based employment trainings, etc., etc. You can still get PIP in this work group as well. Now, I want to slip right here to what I think is some of the most important parts of the changes in the white paper, which we are now going to see coming in April. So it says here, as we know, we are determined to have a welfare system that encourages and supports people into work while providing a vital safety net for those who need it most. Whether or not you agree with that or not, that is what they have stated. And as they've put here, in the future, we will remove the work capability assessment. Now, the reason why this has been done is not really to tailor approach to employment support at all. It's because the High Court criticised DWP when the Good Law Project took them to court and won. And the High Court made suggestions about the changes that needed to be made in the work capability assessment. Well, DWP, being DWP, completely disregarded those requests by the High Court, and their way of getting around it is, I think, obviously to remove the work capability assessment altogether, because then you won't have to fill in the work capability form. You can see how they engineer things. So, as it says here, The white paper, the Transforming Support, the Health and Disability White Paper in March 2023 is meant to be there to help people with health conditions reach their full potential. I personally think this is laughable when they can't even provide that for their own staff, but we are where we are. Now, these are the main this is a very long paper, but I'm just picking out the main problem areas. So they said we launched a consultation on the 5th of September 2023 on work capability assessment activities and descriptors. Descriptors are very important because they're intrinsically linked to PIP. The work capability assessment is how we assess people's capability for work and the support they receive for employment and support allowance, universal credit, and all the rest. So this is what they say. You're either found fit for work, you have a limited capability for work, or limited capability for work and no work-related activity. I mentioned that earlier. But you are exempt from these new changes if you have an absence or loss of bowel or bladder, so incontinence issues, serious issues coping with social engagement, just saying, I don't want to go outside, I'm socially anxious, is not going to be enough. This would have to be something, potentially life-threatening, a serious safeguarding issue for yourself or other people. And if you were, paraplegic, couldn't really move around at all, etc., etc. Now, the big issues here are in the amending the descriptors. So when the statement says, we consulted on proposals to amend some of the functional activities and descriptors in the work capability assessment so that the assessment reflects greater flexibility and availability of reasonable adjustments in work, particularly home working, what that actually means is that when they amend these descriptors, they will be actually amending what it is that they can make you do or expect you to do. And here is a clear example of that. The changes we will take forward. We've seen some of this linked into the 4-point rule as well. But I think the 4-point rule is going to come in through the back door, and this is part of the way they're going to do it. So they're going to create a new offer for existing claimants assessed with LCWRA to give them a confidence to try work. Now, call me a Mrs. Pessimistic. And when I read this, I thought this is deliberately a red flag. And I'm going to read this for you, and then I'm going to show you the red flag afterwards. We want claimants who have already been assessed as having LCWRA to be able to engage with support to move forwards towards work without the fear of reassessment. As such, we will bring forward a new offer, a chance to work guarantee for existing claimants on UC, ESA, LCWRA. This change will be effective from 2025 at the same time as work capability changes are introduced. This change will in effect abolish the work capability assessment for the vast majority of this group. So they've removed, by doing that, the entire process of work capability assessments to put you into this new chance to work guarantee. Now, we're going to come to the red flag on the next slide, but it says here, these changes will mean that almost all people who are currently assessed as having limited capability for work and no work-related requirement will never face a WCA reassessment again. Reassessments will only take place under very limited circumstances, which are when a claimant reports a change of circumstances in their health condition, which I think that's very unfair, because somebody who's already, by nature of having a long-term health issue or a disability, are going to have fluctuations in their health. So they are more likely to make changes of circumstances that relate uniquely to their health condition. So I think that's quite unfair. I would go as far to say actually that it's discriminative because it's not supportive to somebody who does have health conditions. If a claimant has been awarded LCWRA for pregnancy risk or cancer treatment where the prognosis for recovery is expected to be short term. If a claimant has been declared as having LCWRA under the new risk provisions and in cases of suspected fraud. All I'm going to say here is hello, everybody having closed like case reviews and bank statements and all the rest of it. But now we're going to come on to the red flag. For the overwhelming majority of existing UC claimants, this is a guarantee that they will not be reassessed if they try work and it does not work out. But what happens if you don't want to try work? That's going to be the issue. ESA claimants undertaking permitted work will also not be reassessed. Therefore, for both groups, we will remove the barrier that trying work may mean they lose their LCWRA entitlement. But like everything with DWP, this is a double-edged sword because it's okay for people who want to try work. They won't lose that LCWRA entitlement. But at the same time, some people may not want to try work because they feel that they can't because of health conditions. And it says here, we will support these claimants to start, stay and succeed in work. Universal credit claimants who have been assessed as having LCWRA and who try work will benefit from the existing work allowance. This enables them to earn a minimum of £379 per month before the universal credit earnings tapers apply. Now, that all sounds very well and good, but when you go and look at the reform of the work capability assessment, and when you look at their own published tables, which you're going to see in a moment, we can clearly see that they're going to be abolishing the LCWRA group. So what they've just stated as you can try work and you won't lose this money isn't going to apply because that LCWRA group isn't going to be there. So they're downgrading everyone from LCWRA to LCW to the intensive work search group. And as I've clearly pointed out here, LCWRA, it's not mandatory to look for work. LCWRA is mandatory, but adaptive measures. Intensive work search, you most definitely have to look for work. These are Universal Credit's predicted tables from their own public source information about the work capability assessment reform in Britain. So by 25 to 26, it's going to be 85,000. We can see a massive jump in 2026 because they know that this new change is coming in April. Is going to be 204,000. Total moved due to removing the LCWRA mobilising descriptor here on the left, 133. So they're removing the group, they're removing the descriptor, and that's how they're going to move everybody into this work group. And then as we can see, the next stage is to move everyone from LCWRA to the intensive work search group. And again, 25 to 26, 7,000, and then they predict it to be 26 to 27. Now, I can tell you that I think these figures are massively underestimated. I think they're going to be a lot more than that. So that is the scary point. And for someone who has disabilities myself, if I was on benefits, I would find this not great, because we all know that the money you have to live on when you are on universal credit in particular is very low. Now, I do a lot of consultations with people who are in situations like this, who are disabled. I have my own company, so I'm not reliant at all on any types of benefits. But my biggest suggestion to most people would be go self employed if you're able to, because you will be financially better off, even within the benefit system, if you are self employed. And by the way, I'm doing this weekend. I'm doing a special live for my YouTube members on how you can literally quit the benefit system with your own online business. If you don't know, or you're thinking about that and you're wondering how I navigate all of that, you may want to come along and I can tell you all sorts of things that you can get help with from Universal Credit, as well as other things too. But these are the facts that Universal Credit and DWP are moving towards. This is how they intend to roll it out. And I expect when the TIMS report comes out in a few months' time, I think it's just going to be fundamentally flawed to support this. I think that is the agenda.